Hello everybody, I hope everyone is doing well and welcome back. So today I'm going to be doing my October roundup and I have a whole lot of products to talk about today. I tried my best to try all of the new products that came my way. Just because I'm not going to be around much in November, I'm going to be on vacation. So I wanted to try as much as I could to give you my opinions on the products before I leave. But if you're newer to my channel and you're not sure what my roundups are, I basically go through all of the new products I brought into my collection this month and I give you my final review after testing them out for a while, and I separate them into 3 categories. So the first one is my favorites, the second category are the products that I liked, and the last one are the ones that I was disappointed by or I just found to be unremarkable. And I usually sit in a different area of my office, but I just simply did not feel like switching up and moving things around my office today. So I'm at my desk. So before we get into it, I'd love for you to subscribe if you aren't already. It means so much to me, and let's get to it. So before we get started, I did want to mention the products I was only able to get to once. So I'll update you on these ones at a later date. So that goes for the NARS Climax palette, the Nabla Skin Realist Skin Tint, same with the YSL skin tint and the primer, and the last one was the Sunshine Under Eye tint from Milk Makeup. And same thing goes for the Dear Dahlia stuff, as well as the Undone Beauty things. I filmed this later in the month, so I haven't had enough time to get to know these products yet, you know? But I'm actually wearing this foundation in today's video, and I really like it. So take what you will from that. I forgot that today's video is going to be going live on Halloween, so happy Halloween everyone if you celebrate. And today's a little bit of a windy day, so if you hear it against my window, just accept it. It adds to the spooky ambiance, okay? So now let's talk about the products. I'm first going to start off with my favorites, of course. And my #1 favorite product coming out of this month was the Rose Ink Blush in the shade Foxglove. I decided to start off by purchasing one just so I could see if the formula was nice or whatever, but I can confidently say that I am going to be expanding my collection this Sephora VIB sale. It's just stunning through and through. I don't know, there's just something so special about this blush. I haven't been this excited for a cream blush launch in I don't even know how long, but the formula is so rich feeling. It has a nice thicker consistency when you're swatching it, but it applies very sheerly and it's very buildable. And I also like its finish because it's not too glowy. It's like a nice satin finish, so it does have great longevity. I did talk about this blush in depth in my recent favorite autumn blush video. I also did a close-up swatch of it, so if you want to know more about this one, you can check that video out. I don't want to sound too redundant, but this is a true gem. And whenever I look at this one, I get excited for my trip. I cannot wait to sit on the throne in the sky. Following up with that, another brand that I discovered this month is Trendy London, and I fell in love with these 2 products here. So the Candlelight, the Right Highlight, and the Golden Glow Gel Bronzant in the shade Gaia. This bronzer is very unique to me because it's a true gel texture, and I don't really have any of those in my collection. And I love how it applies. It's very easy and it just blends and sinks right into your makeup so beautifully. Once it's applied, it looks lived in, like it always was there. And I find the finish to be a bit different from other cream bronzers as well. It has a little bit more of a dewy texture, but it's nothing too crazy nor greasy leaning. So this one super stood out to me. And this highlighter won my love immediately. I love how see-through the base is, but when you tilt your head and the light catches it, it just looks so dreamy. It almost adds like a soft focus glow, and it's nothing too crazy. It's very natural looking, and it just sinks right into your makeup without disrupting anything around or underneath. It just works, and I love products that just work. You don't have to think about it or worry about it. It's just easy peasy. My next favorites are the Melt Cosmetics Perfectionist Lip Pencils. I love the whole range, but my favorite shade has been Bare so far. That's the one I've been using the most, but there's a great range of nudes and there's also a really fun red. I really hope that they continue to expand, and I hope that they bring back their old colors in this packaging and formula. They're just really easy, they last really long, they stop other lip products from bleeding, they sculpt really well. I don't know, they're a great solid formula, and I like how they're in a classic wood pencil. My next favorite was the Lancome All Over Concealer. This is fantastic. I love this stuff. It's a great everyday concealer. It can get pretty full coverage depending on how much you apply. I like to add 2 little dots, one on the inner corner and one on the outer, and I find that I apply the perfect amount. It does have a big applicator, but the stopper does a really great job at squeezing a majority of the product off, so you don't accidentally apply too much. I really love how thin this one's consistency is. It feels very watery under your eyes, but it packs so much coverage and it blends so easily. It's a very quick application and it looks flawless. This paired well with all of the bases I've tried it with thus far and with all powders. It's proven to be very easy and reliable. And if you want to know my shade, I've been using the shade Bisque W. And another reason why I really enjoy this stuff is that it's great at spot correcting as well. It has like a soft matte finish, so it doesn't accentuate your blemishes. Like, it won't refract the light like some other concealers can. It just kind of blurs it out nicely. Ooh, yeah, that is another reason why I love this product so much under the eye. It's very, very blurring, and I don't find that a lot of concealers do that. It's very unique to me, and I've been using it nonstop. My next favorite of the month has been the Fenty Beauty Fly Liner in the shade In Big Truffle. This color is beautiful. I'll swatch it on the back of my hand here. It's a very warm liquid liner, and I feel like we don't see these kind of shades in liquid liners much. They usually are like a more deep neutral brown, and they don't look too far off from black, but this one is a really nice soft warm brown. I'm wearing it on my eyes today. I've been reaching for this one more so than my Makeup by Mario soft brown eyeliner, and something I was a bit hesitant about is that this one is a felt tip, and usually those tend to dry out on me, but this has been my go-to eyeliner this month, and I haven't seen any sign of this thing drying out yet. And even when I'm working with it, the tip doesn't dry out by the time I get to the second eye, which most felt tips do. So I really like how this one's nice and juicy. Another Fenty favorite of the month has been these new Gloss Bomb Heat shades in the shades Fussy Heat and Fenty Glow Heat. I'm wearing Fenty Glow over my lip combo today, and I just love it. I love how these ones are a lot more sheer than the cream version. I found that the Gloss Bomb creams were far too pigmented for my liking, and I found them to kind of settle into my fine lines of my lips, but these ones don't. They're the perfect amount of pigment and sheerness. They do slightly plump, but it's nothing too crazy, and they don't sting my lips ever. The only thing I would be cautious of if you're very sensitive to smells, these ones do have an intense fragrance. They initially smell pretty spicy to me. And my last favorite of the month has been the Natasha Denona Retro palette, and I didn't think I was going to enjoy this palette as much as I do. I've loved every single look I've created with this one this far. I tend to stay away from these kind of color stories. I really like them against my eye color, but against my skin color sometimes they can make me look ill, but these specific tones don't. And when I first saw this palette online, I thought it was a lot more monochromatic than it actually is, but in person there's a few color stories. There's some really nice neutrals, some more deep plum shades, and these more pinky shades. I don't know, there's a nice variety, and I feel like there's a lot of potential within this palette. The quality has been incredible, and I really love how she included so many of the cream to powder formula. That's my #1 favorite shadow formula from her, and I think there's 5 or so in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, there's 5. I just love how many textures are in this one. I think if you're very drawn to this palette, you won't be disappointed in it at all. I think it will be money well spent as long as you can see yourself reaching for this palette on the everyday or weekly. Yeah, I think it's another winner from Miss Natasha Denona. So now let's move on to my liked category. So these are the products I really enjoyed, but I have a few critiques about them or hesitations. So let's start off with this one from Fenty Beauty. This is the Balm Posse palette. I've enjoyed my experience this far with this one as well. I've loved every single look I've created with this one. I think the shadows performed really beautifully, the mattes and shimmers. I just don't see this palette ever becoming like a #1 favorite palette of mine, but I do see myself reaching for it quite a bit nonetheless. I've seen in my comment section that some people are having trouble with this one, so maybe there's some inconsistencies from within the palettes, because I've honestly had no issues whatsoever. I feel like the pigmentation was really good. The quality has been consistent with all of the shades. Truly, my only hesitation with this one is that I don't really see it ever becoming like an all-time favorite palette. The next product is the Catrice More Than a Glow highlighter. I really liked this formula. The only thing wrong with this one was its shade. It's just too light for my skin tone. I know there's another one out there. I really like this one's formula. It was very easy to apply. You could overbuild this one very quickly, so you just need to tap into this formula once and it'll pick up more than you need. Yeah, I found that this is a great drugstore highlighter. It was just not a match for my skin. Next up, I have the Huda Beauty Glowish blushes. So I really like this blush formula. I wish that there were a few more shades, just because there isn't like my perfect shade within this line. I really like the tones that they came out with, but I just don't see myself reaching for these colors on the everyday. I find that this formula is very similar to the bronzers, so it's really good. I like how it adds a subtle luminosity. It's really easy to blend out, and it almost looks like a cream on your cheeks, which is really, really beautiful, but it has that longevity since it is a powder. The two shades that I like the most are Caring Coral and Healthy Peach. I really hope that she expands this range because the formula is fantastic. I hope to see some more orangey shades, rusty shades, kind of sunburnt shades. That would be phenomenal. But yes, I think if you are drawn to those colors, you'll really enjoy the formula. Another blush formula that I tried out this month was the Milk Makeup Bionic blushes. And these are in this section here because they don't really feel like anything new. I felt like I've seen these before, kind of. They do feel like a tackier version of the Cosmetics Serum blushes, and tackier in finish and texture, not like they look tacky. That sounded a little savage there for a second. And I also am not super drawn to the 4 shades that they came out with. They don't really suit my preferences. I think the shades are lovely in themselves. I just don't see myself really reaching for them on the everyday. They do feel more like a lip gloss or like a tinted lip balm when you apply them onto your cheeks, so they have that same kind of resistance feeling, you know, and your hair can kind of stick into them. So just be aware of that. They do have a good staying power. They're not going to like stay around all day for like an 8-hour wear or anything. You might have to touch them up, but for its consistency and such, I feel like they stayed around for quite a while. So all in all, I found them to be good, but not great. The next product here is another one from Trendy London, and this is the Lip Luxe in the shade Tashi. This is the only lip one that I tried this month. Whenever it comes to lipsticks in pots, I tend to forget about them all the time just because they're a little bit of a hassle to reach for. Like, I wouldn't really put this in my purse, especially in this day and age. I feel like it's just waiting to get full of bacteria or germs. I don't know. And plus, I don't really want to carry around a lip brush just because it's going to spill in my Valentino bag, you know? Not about it. But I do really enjoy this formula and shade. It has good pigmentation, and I really like how it has a subtle glow within it. It's not like a solid matte or anything. It's quite comfortable to wear, and it wears a long time for its finish. But I just don't really see myself wearing it quite often because I don't want to bring it when I'm going out and about. Another product from Milk Makeup here is the Hydro Grip Eye Primer, and I found that this one could be a little bit unreliable. Some days my eyeshadow would stay on all day without any creasing, and other days I would encounter some creasing. I find that you have to apply the perfect amount because too little will end in creasing and too much will end in creasing as well. I also found that when you initially start applying your eyeshadow, it can make them look really patchy in the beginning, which I don't really enjoy. Now that I'm sitting here editing this video and listening to myself speak about this eyeshadow primer, the more and more I feel like this belongs in my disappointments section. I think I really wanted to like this stuff as much as the other 2 family members of this collection, the Hydro Grip Face Primer and the Facial Spray. Those are some of my holy grail products, and I was hoping that this one would be too. But with the reality of this product, it just makes putting on my makeup a lot harder, makes things go on patchy, it just makes things more difficult than it should be, you know? So I changed my mind and pretend I placed this in my disappointment section. Okay. And my last product in this section is the Nabla Vicious Mascara. This one's fun because it's a very quick mascara experience, and I really like how tiny the brush is, so you can really get into all the smaller lashes on the inner corner. The only issue I have with this one is that it can build too quickly and you can get some spider lashes or some clumping quickly. So there's a little bit of a learning curve with this one because I'm used to sitting there and building my mascaras up for a couple minutes, whereas this one gets intense very, very fast. And I also adore this packaging. I love cats, as you can tell. I also own 2 of them, so that definitely made this one stick out to me a little bit more than others as well. So now let's move on to my last category, my disappointments, or the products that were just simply unremarkable to me. So let's start off with this product here from Iconic Linden. This is the Precision Duo Contour Pot. So this can look good some days, but it's very, very tricky to work with. It can make your cheeks look very dirty quickly. It can make your cheeks look like they're full of soot. I find that these 2 formulas kind of battle each other, so I don't really know why they included them in one product. The bottom here is a cream, and on the website it says that you can layer it underneath your foundation. I did try that out, but it's like too slippery that it kind of makes my foundation ball on top of it, which is weird. It doesn't pill. It's like when you're trying to write something in marker on plastic, you know how it kind of separates and gathers, the liquid just gathers together again? That's what it does. It's really, really strange. But if you use it on top of your foundation, it looks okay. It's very, very sheer. But if you add the powder on top of that, then they also kind of fight each other and they separate from each other as well. I do enjoy the top powder formula a little bit more, but even so, I find that all the other contour powders that I do have in my collection perform way better than this one. So I wouldn't waste your money on this product. There's so much better out there. This one made me nervous every time I used it. I always clenched my butt cheeks a little bit, hoping that it would work out for me, and it always gave me trouble. It's just not great at all. Another one that I was disappointed by was the new Kosas The Big Clean mascara. They recently reformulated this one. I don't know if I got a weird batch or if I had it in my collection for too long before trying it, but this one feels dry immediately. I couldn't get it to follow through my lashes all the way. It would kind of clump at the root of my lash and just cause me a lot of issues. So I never really got a great impression with this one. I always had to grab a spoolie to comb out the product or reach for an entire different mascara to save my lashes that day. This one makes me really sad, but this is the Bobbi Brown and Oola Johnson collab. I wanted to love this one so much. The packaging is beautiful and the product inside looks beautiful, but it's far too shimmery and way too light. Like, it looked too white against my skin tone. It just was way too silvery and icy, and the formula wasn't really great, to be honest. I feel like this one fooled me because it just looks so dreamy. I don't know, disappointed. Very disappointed with this one. Another highlighter that I was really, really disappointed by was the Lys Aim High Pressed Highlighter. The description of this product sounded incredible and so up my alley. They said that there was no glitter in this one and it was a sheer formula, and it was the complete opposite. This is one of the most texture enhancing powder highlights I've ever tried, and it was also super glittery. I tried to swatch it for a while so I can get into like the middle of the product. I was kind of hoping that there was an overspray or something on this one, but there isn't. Even if you're trying to swatch it on the back of your hand, you can see like the glitter particles kind of escaping and get on the area that you don't apply it to. When I showed this one in a video, I know a lot of you said that it looked nice on camera, but in person it looked for real terrible, which is really sad. This is the first Lys product that I dislike. I have not yet tried the liquid version. I think I'm a little bit nervous too, just because of my experience with this one, but I will. I'll get to it very shortly here. But now moving on to a powder. This is the Huda Beauty Glowish powder, and please, you guys, do not invest your money in this powder. It is truly the worst powder I have ever tried. And I say that with full confidence because it's truly god awful. It is so texture enhancing, it's so dehydrating, it does nothing like it's described. It was very odd, and it truly brought out every single pore and made me aware of texture I didn't know I had. It just looked like it aged my skin in a matter of seconds. It was very odd and disheartening. It's not a good formula whatsoever. I thought it was going to be a close powder to the Kosas Cloud Set, but not at all. Not at all. Another Huda Beauty product that I disliked was the Balm Brows Full and Fluffy Brow Gel. I thought that this was going to be similar to the M Cosmetics one, but this one's way too liquidy, and the fibers in here are far too long, and they just kind of disperse weirdly, I guess. And I find that the formula is way too liquidy, so it doesn't really add any hold to your lashes. It just gets on the skin around your brows or under your brows and makes your brows look terrible, to be honest. So I would not put money into that product either. The next product I was disappointed by was this one from Fenty Beauty. It's the Diamond Balm Triple Drip Palette. Now, I really loved the way this looked on my eyes in my pink look video I did this month, but just shortly after I stopped filming that video, it completely creased and I could not blend it out. Like sometimes with shimmers, they'll slightly crease and you can kind of tap it out and redistribute the glitters, but this one stayed put and it just wiped away. It just truly ruined the whole eye look. My camera died mid-sentence, so I don't really know where I was going there, but this product is a multi-use product, but realistically, with my preferences and my vibe, I only ever see myself using this as a topper on my eyes, and ever since it ruined that one eye look, I've never looked back or reached for this again. Yeah, really not a fan of this one. And the last product here I have to talk about is the Milk Makeup Color Chalks. So these are multi-use products as well, but I would only see myself using these on my eyes. And honestly, these are just way too much of a hassle to work with. I get the concept, like they wanted to be a bit more environmentally friendly, like it's a little pigment stick wrapped in paper, but then they put it in this little plastic tube. I feel like they could have come up with something like a paper carton to put in here. I have a couple products like that. The one that comes to mind are the Tarte tinted lip balms. They could have come up with something like that, or even the Melt Cosmetics eyeshadow stack. Something with that thicker carton. I feel like that would have made a lot more sense compared to a plastic tube. But anyways, these aren't versatile at all. It's kind of hard to apply them to your eyes, and the pigment itself is quite dry, so it tends to fall out and get super messy. It gets all over your fingers since there's some pigment particles floating around in this little tube, and the pearls within this product kind of fluff all over once you start blending them out. They're just far too messy and a hassle for me to ever reach for them, so those have become a big no for me. But there we have it. There is my October roundup for you all. Let me know if you found any gems this month. I would love to know. But that is all from me today, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed today's video and found it helpful. If you did, please give this video a like. It would help me out so very much. I'll make sure to link all of these products in the description down below if you'd like to check them out. And I will see you all in the next one. Love you. Bye.